Believe what God believes.
Right.
Believe the same thing God believes. That's what he said. And then what did he do? He cursed the fig tree. The fig tree representing the law system. Right? The believing in the works of your own hands for life. He cursed that tree. Why? Because that tree can't produce fruit. He took an axe to the root of the tree, or the system that couldn't produce God's fruit. And then he said that have the faith of God. If any man should say to this mountain, be ye cast into the sea, and have no doubt, he shall have what he says. Now, the mountain he's talking about there is Mount Sinai. That's the mountain the law and the commandments were given from. So, have the faith of God.
And cast the law and the commandments into the sea.
Cast the law system into the sea. We don't approach God. And was it Hebrews 13 or is it 12 that talks about how we're not approaching Mount Sinai with all the fire and all that stuff, but we're approaching Mount Zion, it says. That's what Jesus was talking about. We're not trying to approach God from Mount Sinai. In fact, God told Moses to tell the people he's going to put a big barrier there and tell them not to come up to the mountain. And then look what he says, lest I break forth upon them. Now listen, when he says, lest I break forth upon them, that's actually speaking from the mind of him not wanting to.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that?
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't tell them to stay away if he wanted to break forth upon them. So what was he saying? Don't try to approach me through the law and the commandments. Don't try to approach me through the law of Moses or through your own ability. Because if you try to approach me through your own ability, what's going to happen is I am so much that I'm a consuming fire. And unless you have the same fire in you that's from the Holy Spirit, the fire in me will break forth and consume you. So you can't approach God with the sin-stained conscience.
No.
If you try to approach God with the sin-stained conscience, he'll consume you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep. Hey, Shelley, one of the things for me that's made a huge difference